Well, thank you very much. We're really honored to make this presentation, and being that Jim is the better speaker, I will let him do the speech that we prepared.
Thank you, Tom and Phil. We're both really pleased that this match could be picked for the Achievement Award, the Special Achievement Award of the year. This award is very fitting for Home on the Range, but I think this is not the great thing they do. They don't need this match bronc riding to win this award. For 50 years they've been giving underprivileged children a home and a better way of life, get them started off on the right foot, and I think they could win that year in and year out. The match was started 44 years ago. The other day I was asked by Winston Satcham, did you think then that this match would still be going 44 years from the time you started it? I said, at the age I was then, I didn't even plan on living for 44 years. I guess Tom and I were both quite disappointed or let down when the match riding at Dickinson had stopped. The late Howard Schnell got killed in a plane accident, and him and Ray and Willard were three of the pushers of that match at Dickinson. And I said to Tom one day, I says, maybe Home on the Range could use something like this. And he thought it sounded good. We talked to Joe Chase, to Elvin Nelson and Dwayne Howard. They all thought it sounded good. Father thought it sounded good. So Ray Schnell, who was one of the directors of Home on the Range, we mentioned to him, great idea. And the first thing we knew, there was cats and dozers and whatnot filling in the draw and leveling the land, and fellas like Willard Schnell and all of them up there building an arena. And the match has been there ever since. By the way, if I forget some of this stuff, why, Father kind of summed it up. He said to my wife and I, he says, you, every time I see you two, he said, you kind of remind me of a story, he says, I heard. He says, this older couple were at their home, and the wife says, why don't you go down to the store and get some ice cream? She says, I'll make a list. No, I don't need no list. He says, I can remember ice cream. And just he's going out the door, she says, by the way, why don't you get some strawberries? She says, I'll make a list for you so you don't forget it. No, I said, I can remember strawberries and ice cream go together. So he goes down to the store and comes back and sets a sack on the counter, and she looks in it, and all that's in there is 2 cans of tomato soup. She says, I knew I shouldn't have made a list. She says, you forgot the crackers. So at that time, Ray was one of the directors of Home on the Range, and I gotta look at my notes. Oh, we've had it was kind of left up to Tom and I to find the bronc riders to match, and then Casey and Deb, Casey Tibbs, Deb Copenhaver, Marty Wood, all of them have been champions, and we contacted them, and we were right in amongst them, rodeoing, and good friends of theirs and ours, and they all liked the idea, and so it happened. It happened at kind of the wrong time the first year. It was in May, and we all like to froze to death. Deb built a fire behind the chute so we could warm our hands, so we could hang on to the buck rein a little bit. I got to see here what's going on. Oh, we had every top or world's champion bronc rider since 1950 there, with the exception of Monty Henson. Sean Davis, Marty Wood, Casey Tibbs, Deb Copenhaver, Brad Germanson, Bill Innerman, you name them, we had them. They were all there. Even had, luckily we were kind of friends with Rex Allen's. We had stars like Rex Allen and so on there for to help us along. I got too many pages here. I'm missing one. But kind of to get back at Father on his story, he's been retired, and when you retire, you don't quit, you just quit taking orders. But he was at the Church of Christ the King in Dickinson, or in Bismarck after he retired, and he was there a couple of years when he needed some documents from the office, and his secretary wasn't there, and he says, gosh, I hate to go in there and go through her files and desk when she's not there. He says, but I gotta have them, he said. So he went in there and got to looking through her desk, and came to the bottom right hand drawer, and there was opened it up, and there was a bunch of money in there, cash, and over $100, and a carton with 2 eggs in it. He says, boy, I trust her with my life. He says, I don't know. He said, I don't know where that money came from. He says, well, he found his documents the next morning when she came to work. Why, he said, I'd like to talk to you. He says, yesterday I needed these documents out of your desk, and he says, you weren't here. I hate to go, he told her the story. I hate to go through it, but I did find them. But he said, I'm pretty puzzled. He says, there was all this money and this carton with 2 eggs in it in the bottom right hand drawer. Oh, she says, that carton of eggs, she says, every time you give a bad sermon, I put another egg in there. Oh, he felt pretty good. That's not bad. He said, I've been here 2 years and 2 eggs. Well, what I really came here for, he says, what I want to talk to you about was this, all this cash in there. Oh, every time I get a dozen eggs, I sell them, she says. So, we had a lot of cooperation from all the stock contractors. I think we've had 4 or 5 or maybe 6 of the top bucking horses of the year there. I know some of them there have been there 3 or 4 times. We had Fiddick Brothers Rodeo there with horses like Funeral Wagon, Red Pepper, Figure 4, Harry Vold with Necktie, Bugle Boy, both bucking horses of the year in Canada, Colonel Blue, Harry Knight with Jake, Joker, and Big John, all 3 bucking horses of the year. Oral Zumo with Trails End, also another bucking horse of the year several times. Bombs Away, Peterson Special, Many Wounds, Bob Aber with Old Shep and Moon River, and there was other contractors there such as George Anderson, Took Brothers, or the Took Rodeo Company with top horses. I think we had every Ben Johnstone, every top bucking horse and every top bronc rider that was around there. And I don't think this there I'm lost. Oh, Father is the one that kept the match going. He done all the hard work. He flew to different rodeos with Tom, drove to rodeos with me, Cheyenne, Denver, and so on. He done a lot of hard work. I'm sure his job would have been a lot easier, though, if he'd have done his share of the driving. That's kind of an inside joke, I guess. But I know one year going to Cheyenne, why I must have drove at least 15 miles, and we started in the middle of the night, so I never did hear the end of that. Tom, I guess I'll let you take over.
And I guess to receive the award is the one person most responsible, past, present, and future, for the match ride of champions, Father Fonlander.
Don't you guys ever say anything about my long sermons. Well, I'm privileged to receive this. I'm sort of a has-been. I've been retired, and Winston Satrin and now Pat Peterman are running the show out at home on the range. And I want to thank the Cowboy Hall of Fame committee for selecting us. Without me saying any more about it than that, let me just ask you, be sure and come tomorrow, and you can judge how good it is. And I'm sure that you're going to come away realizing that it is great. Thank you so much for selecting Champions Ride as the for this Cowboy Hall of Fame recognition. Thank you.